Welcome to our 9th annual Veterans Recognition Ceremony. I want to thank all the people in the audience for joining us today to honor these remarkable veterans who are up on the stage with me. You may remain seated. We're going to open up our celebration with an invocation offered today by Pastor David Cellini of Heritage Baptist Church in Palmyra. Pastor?
Thank you. Thank you. What a special occasion. I want to begin by thanking Senator Helming for allowing us to acknowledge God in this ceremony and for recognizing his place in the affairs of our nation. On behalf of the Christian community, I want to express our deep gratitude to the brave men and women who have stood on the wall, defending our freedoms, not the least of which is our freedom to worship and to live out our faith without fear. Today, as we honor our veterans, we do so with a profound sense of gratitude to them for their sacrifice and to God for his sustaining hand through their service. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this special occasion to honor these faithful servants, our veterans, who have given so much for the cause of freedom. We thank you for their courage, for their sacrifice, and for their steadfast commitment to protect the values that we hold dear. We ask that your guiding hand continue to provide wisdom and courage to our leaders, and that we would remain a people that look to you for wisdom and leadership and strength. Bless these men and women who have served, and bless their families with peace and honor. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor, and thank you to the amazing people of Heritage Baptist Church in Palmyra. They do such a tremendous job in honoring our veterans and their families, and I truly appreciate it. Thank you, Pastor. So in just a moment, I'm going to ask everyone to please rise, if you're able to, for the presentation of the colors by American Legion Post 256 and Marine Corps Detachment League 468. Following the presentation of the colors, if you'll please remain standing for the national anthem, which will be performed by tenor extraordinaire Anders Nemastek, and the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Eagle Scout candidate Callum Bailey. So if you're able, I ask that you please rise for the presentation of the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Pledge allegiance allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for Callan, for Anders, and for our color guard? Thank you. That was incredible. Very nice. This is our second year holding this Veterans Recognition Ceremony at the Fort Hill Performing Arts Center and the Sands Family Foundation Theater. And they have just been such incredibly generous hosts. I want to thank Director Sue Ann Townsend and President Gordon Esty for welcoming us into this beautiful auditorium and for everything that they do to support the arts and to support our community in general. Joining us today to show their support for our veterans are several local leaders who I'd like to acknowledge. From our area Veterans Services offices, we have Ontario County Veterans Services Director Susan Smith. And Susan, if you'll stand, please. There she is. Wayne County Services Director Samantha Wilson. Livingston County Veterans Services Director David Terry. And we have Jason Richards from the VA Veterans Outreach Coordinator. And my good friend Gina Deck from the VA Finger Lakes Chief of Center for Development and Civic Engagement. Thank you all so much for being here today to recognize the service and sacrifice of our veterans and also for what you do for them every single day. We thank you for that. Today, we're also joined by my friend and colleague in the state legislature, Assemblywoman Andrea Bailey, who represents the Assembly 133rd District. And several officials. So I'll call out the list of officials, and if you could remain standing in the audience, hold your applause to the end. We'll just do it once, okay? All right. Mendon Town Supervisor John Moffett. That was a test. Some of you passed. Clifton Springs Mayor James Keyes. Mount Morris Mayor Kelly Bacon. Victor Mayor Sean McAdoo. Lima Town Supervisor Mike Falk. West Bloomfield Town Supervisor Todd Campbell. East Bloomfield Town Supervisor Fred Willey. Canandaigua Town Supervisor and Ontario County Board of Supervisors Chairman Jared Simpson. Manchester Town Supervisor Dave Phillips. York Town Supervisor Gerald Deming. Walworth Town Supervisor Rick Johnson. Geneva City Councilman James Petropoulos. Canandaigua Council Member Sim Covington. Churchville Mayor John Hartman. Canisius Town Supervisor Don Wester. Honeoye Falls Mayor and Monroe County Legislator Rick Milne. Wolcott Town Supervisor Lynn Chatfield. And Jack Marin, I did not call you. Victor Town Supervisor Jack Marin, I knew I saw you out there. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for all of our local elected officials? Also joining us today from Monroe County, we have Monroe County Deputy Sheriff and Military Liaison John DeMarco, who's here on behalf of Sheriff Todd Baxter. Sheriff Rob Milby from Wayne County. And Under Sheriff Mike Rago from Ontario County, here on behalf of himself and Sheriff Serencione. Thank you all for being here. Is there anyone I missed who'd like to stand up? No, thank you. Hopewell Supervisor, thank you for being here. This afternoon, we're honoring 44 area veterans who made significant contributions in both their military service and their civilian lives. Every veteran who's on this stage has been nominated by a family member, a friend, or a community leader, and everyone who was nominated is invited to take part in this ceremony. We have several veterans this afternoon who will be recognized posthumously, and they'll be represented by their nominator or a family member. One of the things I look forward to every year with this ceremony is, as a member of a military family, I know that our veterans don't necessarily like to talk about their service. They're very humble, right? And it wasn't until I was an adult that I even learned that my father was in the Korean War. And my son-in-law, many of you know, Green Beret, he's done several deployments. He never says a word. But today, and I think this is very special, you're going to hear short excerpts of our honorees' memorable military moments. And one of the things that I really like hearing about, they're inspiring words about what they love the most about America. Some of our veterans and our nominees shared a lot of information with me, and others not so much. But one thing I think you're going to see and hear about is their stories span generations, from World War II and the Battle of the Bulge to Korea and Vietnam and the global war on terror. And while every single one of their stories is so very unique, they all send a powerful reminder of what it means to serve and of the freedoms that we enjoy because of their courage, their strength, and their selflessness. So I want to just take a moment and say thank you to all of the nominators who helped us out with the paperwork and accumulating these stories. Can I ask all of our nominators to please stand for a moment and be recognized? Thank you all very much. So without further delay, this is a moment we've all been waiting for to recognize our veterans. And to the veterans who are here on the stage, I would ask that when I call your name, you join me up here at the podium. All right. So the first veteran we're going to recognize today is John Connolly, Staff Sergeant E5, United States Air Force from Honeoye Falls. He was nominated by Rick Milne, Monroe County legislator, and Honeoye Falls mayor. Yeah. Staff Sergeant John Connolly is a proud veteran of the United States Air Force. He served during the Vietnam era. In 1960, John graduated from aviation mechanic school, but he needed to enroll in a fifth year in a local college. It's my understanding there were 5 children in his family, and their finances were tight, so he was unable to afford to go to college. John instead met with a U.S. Air Force recruiter. He took the entry exam and enlisted, a decision that he calls still today the best decision he ever made. One of John's more memorable moments of service came as he was traveling to his first air base assignment. He was flying from Newark, New Jersey to Greenland, and John remembers looking out the window of the airplane and seeing only white. All that snow. He saw other aircraft, and he saw buildings that were built on big blocks, and a large sign that read, "Welcome to Tululi, Greenland, the top of the world." It's my understanding that little did John realize he would spend the following year living in that white in those block buildings and working on those planes and rescue helicopters. But what John shared that he loves most about America is that here in the United States of America, we have by far the best all-around freedoms. John is a 2-time commander of the American Legion post in Honeoye Falls. He and his family own Dipper Dance in Honeoye Falls. Yeah. John served 7 years in the Air Force and was recognized with the Air Force Good Conduct with 1 bronze oak leaf cluster, the National Defense Service Medal, the Air Force Longevity Service Ribbon, and the Air Force Outstanding Unit Award. According to his nominator, John is a great listener and brings a sense of calm to many situations. He is a quiet leader in his community and has had a significant impact on so many people's lives. John, I thank you for your service. Our next honoree is Robert Merkel, Specialist for United States Army. He lives in Victor. He was nominated by Catherine Bailey, his cousin. Bob made the decision to enlist during the draft so he could choose his branch of service. It's my understanding that he wanted to follow in his father's footsteps and join the United States Army. Bob served in the Vietnam War. He shared with us that on his deployment to Vietnam, there were brief stops along the way in Hawaii and Alaska. And when they made these stops, the troops were excited, right? They couldn't wait to get off the planes to see the beautiful locations and the scenery. But it was a lot different when they finally arrived in Vietnam. The atmosphere was just totally different, and the men were hesitant to get off the plane, not knowing, or maybe they did know, what to expect. On his first day in Vietnam, Bob recalls going to the mess hall. He notes that there were 50-gallon drums all around the mess hall, and the servicemen and women were instructed to throw their leftovers in these drums. Bob remembers watching civilians dig through the garbage looking for meat and sticking it into their pockets. The poverty has left a deep impression on him to this day. Freedom is what Bob loves most about America, especially the freedom to vote. For his service in Vietnam, Bob received a Bronze Star, a decoration awarded for heroic achievement in a combat zone. When we asked Bob about his Bronze Star, Bob shared, "I wasn't heroic. I just raised my hand and consistently did a good job, usually when others didn't want to." His nominators shared, "Bob has demonstrated kindness, compassion, and is always lending a helping hand to everyone he meets." Bob, I thank you for your service. Thank you. Melissa Spoon, Master Sergeant E7, United States Air Force. She's from Wolcott, nominated by Wolcott Town Supervisor Lynn Chatfield. Melissa knew by her junior year of high school that she wanted to join the military. She said she was not sure she would like it, but Melissa added that it turned out to be one of the best decisions of her life, and she would never change it for the world. Melissa served for 20 years in the United States Air Force during the War on Terror. Melissa shared with us two memorable moments. The first, her drill instructor yelling that the unit had 5 seconds to get off the bus. And at that moment, I think she was probably wondering, did she make the right decision? And the second memory is of the first time that she saluted the flag during the national anthem. In that moment, for Melissa, it became very clear that military sacrifice is real and so incredibly important. Melissa is proud of her service and thankful to all of those who continue to serve. She loves this country because we get to be who we want to be, and she values the freedoms that we have. Being a woman in the military made her understand the importance of fighting for what you believe in and that we have a great country. According to her nominator, Melissa continues her community service as the 4-H Youth Development Leader for Wayne County. She is mentoring the next generation of leaders, she's building programs, and making a lasting impact. Melissa is a meritorious service medal recipient, and more than that, she is a role model and a mother. Melissa, I thank you for your service. Our next honoree was unable to be here today, Francis X. Fry, Lieutenant Colonel, Marine Corps of Williamson. He was nominated by his daughter, Lisa Brower. Can we have a round of applause for him? Ralph Conklin, E6 Technical Sergeant, United States Air Force from Canandaigua. He was nominated by Paul Newhook, VFW Commander. Thank you. Ralph is an Air Force veteran who has carried forward his family's deep tradition of military service. Ralph's great-great-grandfather served in World War I. Ralph's father served in Vietnam. Ralph served during the War on Terror, including tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. What Ralph remembers the most about his service is the camaraderie of fellow service members and the lifelong friendships that resulted from their shared experiences. During his 21 years of military service, Ralph worked as a canine handler and instructor. He was stationed in 4 countries: Iceland, Korea, Germany, and England. Ralph served on security details for 3 sitting presidents, vice presidents, and secretaries of state during the Bush, Clinton, and Obama administrations. What Ralph loves most about America is that generations of his family have fought and served in every conflict the United States has been involved in. He is proud of our freedom, saying many don't have that. After retiring from active duty, Ralph continued his mission to serve others and support his fellow veterans here at home. According to his nominator, as commander of the VFW post in Canandaigua, Ralph has worked to improve the post and strengthen its ties to the VA Medical Center. For his military service, Ralph has received the Air Force Commendation Medal with 2 oak leaf clusters, the Air Force Achievement Medal with 1 oak leaf cluster, the Air Force Outstanding Unit Award with 5 oak leaf clusters, the Air Force Good Conduct Medal with 5 oak leaf clusters, and National Defense Service Medal. Ralph, I thank you for your service. Jacob Cicero, Sergeant, United States Army from Mount Morris, nominated by Gary Buchanan, his friend. Sergeant Cicero says he was motivated to enlist after seeing others fight for our country during the global war on terror. Jake served in the United States Army for 9 years. His most memorable time was serving in Afghanistan. He admits it was stressful, but adds, the bonds he built with his brothers can never be broken. The Army taught Jake that time is to be cherished and to value the time that you get. What Jake loves most about America is that true Americans want to protect their homeland and will never be defeated. Today, Jake continues to protect and serve as a deputy sheriff and SWAT team member in Livingston County. He continues to always put others first and works to make a positive difference in the lives of others. His nominator and friend Gary says Jake is someone that people can depend on. He is always there if he is needed. Jake is a devoted father, a loyal friend, and a role model for the next generation. For his service, Jake received the Army Commendation Medal with C device, 4 Army Achievement Medals, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, and the Afghanistan Campaign Medal. Jake, we thank you for your service. Walford Wally Anderson, Corporal, United States Marine Corps, is being honored posthumously. He was from Honeoye Falls, nominated by his friend David Brisbane, who is my 2025 New York State Senate Veterans Hall of Fame inductee. And Dave, are you still here? He's at the back of the room. Congratulations to you. Corporal Anderson was more than a Marine. He was a mentor, a role model, and a lifelong servant of the people. Wally died 5 years ago tomorrow. Tomorrow, he would be 81 years old. His close friend and fellow Marine, Dave Brisbane, remembers Wally as someone who embodied the best of what it meant to serve. Wally's journey into military service was inspired by an uncle, a World War II veteran. Wally loved America for its freedom and democracy. While stationed at Henderson Hall, he was entrusted with a sacred duty, posting guards at the Iwo Jima Monument and Arlington National Cemetery, a place of profound significance to every Marine. When he returned home to the Finger Lakes, Wally worked as a certified nursing assistant and geriatric care specialist at Thompson Hospital. Wally brought veterans together for Flag Day and Veterans Day, ensuring that service and sacrifice were never forgotten. Though we honor him posthumously this afternoon, Wally's legacy lives on in his loving family, in the veterans he united, and in the country he served. And I know his widow is here this afternoon. We thank you for your husband's service as well. Frederick Schutz, Command Sergeant Major, United States Air Force and United States Army, being honored posthumously. He was from Canandaigua, nominated by Paul Newhook, his nephew. Command Sergeant Major Fred Schutz's dedication to service was rooted in a proud family tradition, inspired by generations of relatives who served before him. Fred served in both the United States Air Force and the United States Army for a combined 31 years. Fred earned several prestigious honors, including the Bronze Star, the Korean Service Medal, and the Legion of Merit. Fred's commitment to his country continued here at home. He served with distinction as commander of both the American Legion Post and the VFW. In 2003, many of you will remember this, when the Canandaigua VA was threatened with closure, Fred joined with others in a massive campaign that resulted in convincing the powers in Washington, D.C. to keep the facility open. His leadership on the CARES Committee helped ensure continued care for veterans across the region. Fred was also instrumental in bringing the replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, known as the Moving Wall, to Canandaigua. Paul shared with us that Fred was the epitome of a veteran giving back to his community. Fred was a longtime owner of the Canandaigua Brew Company on Phoenix Street and a trusted friend and neighbor to many. Though we honor Fred posthumously, his legacy lives on, not only in the honors he received, but in the many lives he touched through a lifetime of service. Paul, we thank you for your uncle's service. Gerardo Jerry Reyes, Specialist, United States Army from Victor, nominated by Stephen J. Miller, his co-worker. From an early age, Jerry Reyes knew he was destined to serve his country. He says it was a calling. When asked about a memorable moment, Jerry responded that the moment he will never forget is being one of the first 1,000 assault troops to enter Iraq during Operation Iraqi Freedom. Jerry served 2 full years in active combat and a total of 4 years in the military. As a squad leader in the Airborne Mortar Division, he learned accountability and organization. What Jerry loves most about America is our freedom of speech. After returning to the United States, Jerry worked in security at the Smithsonian Institute. His nominator and co-worker describes Jerry as an excellent father, husband, and employee who works hard every single day. He went on to say that Jerry is tough, respectful, hardworking, and a man who never complains and always inspires. For his service, Jerry received the Army Commendation Medal with Valor. Jerry, we thank you for your service. Robert Bob Walter, Jr., Sergeant Major, United States Army from Livonia, nominated by Chris Breidenbaugh Friend. Bob says he answered the call to serve, driven by a simple but yet powerful force, a deep love of country. Bob says what he loves most about America is our freedom. Bob's distinguished military career spanned nearly 3 decades in both the United States Army and the New York State National Guard. He is a graduate of the United States Army Sergeants Major Academy with advanced leadership and airborne training, including Jump Master and Pathfinder qualifications. Bob recalls his first parachute jump and getting his jump wings as his most memorable moment of service. I remember watching my son-in-law jump for the first time. It is memorable, I guess, and scary. No. Throughout his distinguished career, Bob has honorably served around the world, including deployments to Kosovo, Afghanistan, and Kuwait. His experiences included mobilizations across the United States and international training missions alongside allied forces in Europe, Asia, and Australia. For his service, Bob received several distinguished awards, including the Meritorious Service Medal, the Army Valorous Unit Award, and that's for extreme heroism in action against an armed enemy, and the Combat Infantry Badge. Today, Bob continues his mission of service as a veteran engagement specialist for Livingston County, where he has led the Dwyer Peer Support Program with compassion and resolve. Bob's nominator shared that his tireless efforts to support veterans in need and foster camaraderie have united veterans communities across Western New York. Bob, thank you for your incredible service. Our next honoree is Gerald Victor Schatt, Seaman First Class, United States Navy, being recognized posthumously. He is from Manchester. His nominator, Eileen, his daughter, reached out to us today and said that she was not able to be here. But can we have a round of applause? Robert Albrecht, Master Sergeant, United States Marine Corps, also served in the United States Air Force from Canandaigua, nominated by Michelle Albrecht, his wife. When asked what motivated him to join the military, Bob said he was inspired by the example of his uncles and a deep desire to serve his country, and he did it not once, but twice. Robert first served with the United States Marine Corps during Operation Desert Storm, and later with the United States Air Force during Operation Enduring Freedom. Over his 35 years of military service, Robert mastered the demanding field of aircraft maintenance. His military background opened doors to roles such as working with drone IT systems. Bob says his biggest accomplishment while in the military was graduating from Marine Corps basic training. Its mental and physical requirements were grueling. I heard some of you chuckle. You know what he's talking about, right? Yeah. For his service, Robert was awarded the National Defense Service Medal and the Sea Service Ribbon, among other commendations. When asked what he loves the most about America, Robert shared that he loves the desire of Americans to strive to do our best and to defend and help those who are less fortunate. Today, Robert continues to give back to his community by sharing his experiences with local 4-H clubs and through youth shooting sports. Bob is also actively involved in his church. His nominator shared, "Robert has given me a sense of honor and patriotism. Together, we have raised our children to respect those that served." For his service in uniform and here at home, Robert, you have earned our deepest respect and gratitude. Benjamin Cork, Aviation Ordnance Technician, United States Marine Corps from Bloomfield, nominated by Tammy Lozapone Friend. Did I get that right? Thank you, sir. At 18 years old, Ben enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, continuing a proud family tradition of service. Ben specialized in aviation weapons systems. He vividly remembers the intensity of preparing an aircraft for a mission to eliminate Osama bin Laden. Ultimately, bin Laden was killed the night before the planned air attack in a raid. Ben says what he loves most about America is the freedom to build a life through hard work, the opportunity for upward mobility, personal success, and the pursuit of happiness. Today, he is still serving in many meaningful ways. As co-founder of Forged by Valor, Ben is helping fellow veterans find their next mission, offering tuition-free vocational training that provides purpose, opportunity, and a path forward. His nominator shared that Ben embodies the Marine Corps motto, "Once a Marine, always a Marine." Through his actions, he displays an ongoing responsibility to act with integrity, respect, and to fulfill obligations. He is a person you can count on. Ben, I thank you for your service and your commitment to your fellow veterans. James Wicker, Corporal, United States Marine Corps from Canandaigua, nominated by John Cipollone, his friend. Corporal James Wicker says he knew from an early age that he wanted to be a Marine. For Jim, it wasn't just a dream, it was a calling. Jim served 4 years in the Marines. In 1959, he went to Okinawa as an architectural draftsman, designing the next era of military bases. Being a Marine is a great source of pride for Jim. He reflects on the training it takes. He simply says, "You earn it." Jim shares that his younger brother, Ronald, who served 2 tours of duty in Vietnam, died from Agent Orange. Jim honors Ronald as the true Marine in the family. Jim writes that what he loves most about America is freedom and the opportunity to be what you want to be. After completing his service in the Marines, Jim went on to a 22-year career as the head of Taylor Instruments. As chair of the Challenge 22 committee, Jim has helped to raise more than $200,000 to support veteran suicide prevention and awareness. Yeah. According to his nominator, whether Jim is standing in formation with the Color Guard, volunteering alongside his wife Joyce at the Canandaigua VA, or leading within the Marine Corps League, Jim's dedication to his fellow veterans is clear and constant. In 2024, he earned Marine of the Year award from the Memorial Day Detachment number 468. And today, his legacy of service lives on through his 2 grandsons, Ethan and Jeremy, both active duty Marines, proudly following in their grandfather's footsteps. Jim, thank you for your service. Thank you. Do you mind if we move over and get a photo? Yeah.
Hoorah!
Do you mind if we move over? Take a step over.
You mind if I hug you?
Our next honoree is Joshua Snyder, Sergeant, United States Army from Palmyra. He was nominated by Kevin E. Becker, his co-worker. And Joshua was not able to be present, but can we have a round of applause to show our appreciation for his service? Our next honoree is David E. Harklerode, Specialist, United States Army from Mount Morris. He was nominated by his wife, Elaine. David's service to our nation began when he was drafted into the United States Army at age 21. David shared this was a call that he answered willingly and with pride. David served during the Vietnam era, spending 2 years stationed in France and Germany. David's proudest moment came after completing his tough radio mechanic course. He valued his teachers and the repair skills that would benefit him later in his service and in life. For his service, David earned both the Good Conduct Medal and the Sharpshooter Badge. In Mount Morris, David dedicated 47 years to the American Legion. That's incredible. Thank you. Holding positions as chaplain, commander, and Livingston County commander. He also served as a member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars for 4 decades. Beyond his work with veterans, David has shaped young lives as a Boy State coordinator, a Boy Scout leader, and a longtime Kiwanis member. David shared he loves America. It is free because of what our soldiers did before and after his service. His wife and nominator shared that their 3 children are very proud of their father, as they should be. David, we thank you for your service. Francis Jude Clark, Corporal, United States Marine Corps from North Chili, nominated by his friend Frank Sumner. Following in his father's footsteps, Francis enlisted in the United States Marine Corps before the draft. He was driven by a belief in duty to country. During his military service, Francis volunteered for a second deployment and completed 2 tours of duty in Vietnam. The Vietnam War left its mark on all who served, and Francis is no exception. Like many veterans, he has carried the invisible wounds of war, including PTSD and depression. Despite these challenges, Francis did not let his past defy him. He built a life rooted in love, raising 2 daughters, and doting on 5 grandchildren. Francis worked for 9 years at Kodak, and for the remainder of his 40-year career, he worked in mechanical and electronic maintenance. Francis devoted his retirement to serving faithfully in his church. When asked what he loves the most about America, Francis reminded us that our freedoms were bought at great costs. Francis's nominator shared that Francis has not let his past control him, which is attributed to his upbringing, his faith in God, and his humility. On behalf of a grateful community and state, Francis, we thank you for your service. Our next honoree is Robert Worth, Specialist, United States Army from Canandaigua. He was nominated by his son, Dale, and Dale was unable to be here this afternoon. So how about a round of applause for Robert? Peter Tribal, Hospital Corpsman, First Class, United States Navy from Lima, who was nominated by his friend Luke Moody. Is that him? Today we honor Hospital Corpsman, First Class Peter Tribal, a man whose lifelong dedication to service has touched lives far beyond the Navy. Peter knew from an early age that he wanted to serve. At just 17, he enlisted in the Naval Reserves and later joined active duty, sailing around the world aboard the USS Volga-Gasang. All right, thank you. C minus, D, somewhere in there? No. Peter shares that the most memorable moment during his 9 years of service was when the ship departed Norfolk, Virginia, and went through the Panama Canal and on to Vietnam before returning through the Suez Canal and the Mediterranean Sea. On that trip, Peter served as the single medical support personnel. He worked with limited supplies and resources and learned to make quick, sometimes life-altering decisions. One night, a sailor under Peter's care showed signs of appendicitis. A helicopter was dispatched, and the sailor underwent emergency surgery. That incident and Peter's role were reported in the Navy Times as a life-saving event. What Peter loves most about America are all of the opportunities we are afforded. After his military service, Peter spent more than 30 years as a nurse, caring for patients at Strong, the Monroe County Jail, and Groveland Correctional Facility. Peter is a proud member of the Lima VFW post and has served as an assistant Boy Scout leader. His nominator, an Army veteran, shared that Peter has made a lasting impact on not only the Lima community, but also Monroe and Livingston counties through decades of dedicated service, both in and out of uniform. Peter, thank you for your leadership and your service. Our next honoree is James Sanford, Sergeant, United States Air Force from Clifton Springs, nominated by Samantha Sanford Muro, his daughter. James joined the United States Air Force at age 17. He said it felt like an honor to serve. Jim was trained as military police. Jim served for 4 years, including 1 year on the island of Crete, where he was responsible for providing high-level security. At Langley Air Force Base, Jim volunteered for sentry dog training. Shortly after, he received orders to report to Vietnam. Upon arriving, it's my understanding he met one of his best friends and his partner, Prince. Yeah. Jim remembers the nightly patrols with Prince, the extreme darkness, facing gunfire, and the danger of venomous snakes along their paths. After sustaining an injury on patrol, Jim fondly recalls Bob Hope entertaining the troops in the infirmary. When he returned home, Jim joined the Phelps American Legion, becoming a lifetime member of the Vietnam Dog Handlers Association. Jim now serves as the Post 44 adjutant. Jim is the driving force behind many veterans initiatives in his community, from coordinating banners that line the streets on Memorial Day and Veterans Day to leading the poppy programs that remind us the price of freedom. Jim led a campaign to build a monument on Main Street in Clifton Springs, honoring fallen local soldiers and Gold Star families. Jim says what he loves most about America is our freedom. He says we are blessed because we are free. For his service, Jim was awarded the Air Force Presidential Unit Citation, the Air Force Outstanding Unit Award with Combat V device, Vietnam Service Medal with 2 Bronze Stars, and Vietnam Campaign Medal. Jim's nominator, who's also his daughter, states that Jim is a proud American who loves his family, his community, and his country. Jim, on behalf of a grateful nation, state, and community, we thank you for your service. For those of you who may not know, I represent the 54th Senate District, and that Senate District includes all of Wayne, Livingston, and Ontario counties. And in Monroe County, it includes the towns of Chile, Mendon, Rush, Riga, and Wheatland, and the villages of Scottsville, Honeoye Falls, and Churchville. So it's a big district. And the district I share with a number of assembly members. I think there are a total of 5 assembly members. I invited all of the assembly members to provide us with a video statement sharing their appreciation for our veterans. So we're going to take a moment right now, and we are going to play for you a pre-recorded message for our veterans. I ask you to turn your attention to the screen, which is right here behind me.
I'm Assemblyman Jeff Gallahan. I'd like to take a minute out of my day to thank each and every one of you for your service to our country and for being part of Senator Helming's congratulatory celebration today. Serving our country means a lot to me, and I'd like to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for what each and every one of you have done in the service and in your civilian lives. You've made this great nation that we live in free for everyone and a great place to live. God bless the United States of America, and thank you once again for all you've done for our country.
Hello, I'm Assemblywoman Andrea Bailey, and I am honored to take a moment to recognize the incredible men and women who have been nominated for this year's Veteran Recognition Program. I'd like to thank Senator Pam Helming for giving me this opportunity to do so. And to each of the honorees, thank you. Your service, sacrifice, and continued commitment to your communities inspires us all. Whether you served at a time of war or peace, your courage and dedication have helped shape the communities in which we cherish today. This recognition is not just a ceremony. It is a pledge that your legacy will never be forgotten. On behalf of the 133rd Assembly District, this great state of New York, I salute you and thank you for your service and congratulations on a well-deserved honor.
Well, good afternoon, veterans. I'm New York State Assemblyman Brian Mankalo, and I just wanted to reach out and say congratulations to all of you. I want to say thank you to Senator Helming for putting this on for our veterans in our area. As a veteran and a ranking member on the Veterans Committee in Albany, this means a lot to me. So to all of you veterans out there, thank you all for your service. And to the ones that nominated you or helped sponsor you, thank you for all your hard work getting these veterans there. I wish you the best this afternoon, and take this moment and enjoy it. God bless, and thank you again to being a U.S. veteran.
Thank you to all of our assembly members who took the time to send a message to our veterans. Our next honoree is Anthony Pete Petrucci, Sr., Corporal, United States Army, being honored posthumously, and here on his behalf is his son, Pete. Pete Sr. was a proud member of our greatest generation. Pete and his brother Joseph left school before graduating because they felt a deep responsibility to support their family and serve their country. During World War II, Pete served with the 291st Engineer Combat Battalion and played a critical role in one of the most pivotal battles in history, the Battle of the Bulge. According to his nominator, Pete's most memorable moment in service was his battalion holding off Nazi forces at the Ludendorff Bridge until General Patton's troops arrived. It is widely reported that their courage under intense fire helped change the course of the war. Pete loved everything about this country. As an immigrant from Italy, Pete valued our freedoms, including the freedom of speech. For his service, Pete received numerous honors, including the Distinguished Unit Badge and the Good Conduct Medal. But his greatest legacy is the example he left for his family, for his fellow veterans, and for all of us. Pete Jr., we thank you for your father's service and his legacy. John Falbo, Staff Sergeant, United States Army Reserves, Canandaigua, nominated by his wife, Christina. John follows in the footsteps of his grandfather and 4 great-uncles, who all served simultaneously in World War II. The 5 brothers were dubbed the Fighting Falbos by their hometown newspaper. After the attacks of September 11th, John enlisted in the Army Reserves. He was committed to protecting the freedoms he held dear while continuing his education. After the United States invaded Iraq in 2003, John was eager to deploy. He took a leave of absence from college to finish his job training. Unfortunately, when he returned to his unit, they had already deployed. John went on to serve in the global war on terror in Iraq. He says that during his 8 years of service, he has many memories, some good and some not so good. One of the good memories is about a friendship with a man named George, an Iraqi citizen and construction contractor. John met George while working with the United States forces rebuilding schools in western Baghdad. George wanted to help rebuild his country, including the schools in the Catholic Church, where people were prevented from worshiping for more than 30 years. John says the two became great friends, as George was forever grateful for what he considered a liberation after Saddam Hussein's demise. What John cherishes most about America is the freedom and opportunity that so many have sworn to protect. He says, having served both overseas in the military and at home in law enforcement, that he's seen firsthand the sacrifices people are willing to make so that others can live safely and pursue their dreams. John says he's grateful to God for being born in this country. John served 20 years in local law enforcement and is currently the town manager for the town of Canandaigua. For his military service, John received various awards, including the Bronze Star, the Meritorious Service Medal, the Army Achievement Medal, and the Army Good Conduct Medal. John's wife and nominator shared that John has shown that true leadership means sacrifice, integrity, and compassion. John, thank you for your service to our nation and to our community. Kenneth Durgans, Colonel, United States Army from Churchville, nominated by John Hartman, Churchville Mayor. Ken began his military journey as a cadet at West Point. He was driven by a deep appreciation for the United States, a love passed down by his immigrant parents who came to this country in search of freedom and opportunity. When asked what he loves the most about America, Ken noted America is the greatest nation on earth. The freedom we enjoy and the ability to achieve is unmatched. He loves our values, our generosity, our freedoms, and our history. Ken carried those values with him into a remarkable 25-year military career. One of the most defining moments of his service came as battalion commander in the 10th Mountain Division at Fort Drum. He recalls his most memorable experience being the awesome responsibility of command, serving his soldiers and their families. After retiring from active duty, Ken never stopped serving his fellow veterans and the community. Ken's efforts to revitalize the American Legion post in Churchville earned him the honor of being named the American Legion Department of New York's 7th District Legionnaire of the Year in June of 2025. Thank you. For his military service, Ken has received numerous awards, including the Legion of Merit, the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal, and Joint Service Commendation Medal. According to his nominator, Ken takes to heart his oath of service, shown through the many improvements to the Legion Post 954, making it more accessible to veterans of all ages and abilities. Ken, thank you for your service to our nation and our community. Bernard Cannon, Jr., Private First Class, United States Army from Walworth, nominated by his wife, Patricia. Bernie says when he received his draft notice, he did not hesitate. He looked forward to the opportunity to serve. Bernie was a member of the 1st Guided Missile Battalion during the Korean War era. He served during the Korean conflict for 2 years. His most memorable moment of service was taking part in President Eisenhower's inaugural parade. And being stationed outside Fort Belvoir, Virginia, where he demonstrated the missile's capabilities to visiting dignitaries in an effort to secure funding for the project. Bernie shares with us, "I love everything about America. At almost 90 years young, I have nothing negative to say about my country." That's awesome. Following his military service, Bernie earned degrees in industrial engineering from RIT while working at Xerox and raising his family. Bernie's nominator, who is also his wife, shared that Bernie is a very strong and proud person who has worked very hard his entire life. As a longtime member and past president of the Penfield Parrington Kiwanis Club, Bernie has devoted decades to making his community better. Bernie, you have our gratitude and respect for your service to our nation and our community. Thank you. Rebecca Keogh, Sergeant, United States Army, Canandaigua, nominated by her friend Albert Magnin. Rebecca was motivated to enlist by her family's long history of service to America. Rebecca's grandfather Earl and 7 uncles are among those who have proudly served in the United States Armed Forces. Rebecca's military career spanned 6 years of active duty in the Army and 4 years of service with the New York State National Guard Reserves. Rebecca says her most memorable moment of service was being stationed in Germany in 18, I made you a lot older there, huh? In 1989, when the Berlin Wall fell. That's incredible. What she loves most about America is that it remains a land of opportunity for everyone who lives here. Rebecca's nominator, Albert, is also a veteran who served in the United States Navy for 22 years. Albert notes that Rebecca has dedicated her life to public service. Following her military service, Rebecca worked for the United States Department of Veterans Affairs for 25 years. Through her work, Rebecca has positively impacted the lives of countless service members across our state and our nation. Rebecca was instrumental in helping to build an ambulatory veterans medical facility in Colorado. A sixth-generation Bristol resident, Rebecca continues to give back as vice president of the Bristol Library Board. Rebecca, thank you for your service to our country and to our community. Troy Shelton, Sergeant, United States Army from Victor, he was nominated by Jason Shelton, his son, on behalf of the Victor American Legion. Troy's decision to enlist during a time of extraordinary global tension came from a deep desire to serve his country, strengthened by the example of his brother Bob, an Air Force veteran. Serving during the Vietnam War, Troy was stationed for 3 years in Germany during the Cuban Missile Crisis, as well as during the heightened Cold War tensions over the Berlin Wall. The Cuban Missile Crisis and the division of Berlin placed the world on edge, and Germany stood at the very heart of that uncertainty. Troy recalls it as his most memorable experience, serving one of the most pivotal moments of the Cold War. For his service, Troy received the Good Conduct Medal. Today, Troy continues to serve others in his community. As commander of the James Cook American Legion Post in Victor, Troy has been a tireless voice for veterans. Under his leadership, the post will soon have a physical home for the first time in 30 years, a lasting testament to his determination and his heart. At 88 years young, Troy remains an example of what it means to live a life of service. Troy shared what he loves the most about America: freedom and the willingness to protect and preserve it for others. Troy's nominator describes him as a tireless voice for veterans and always willing to help people in any way that he can. Troy, thank you for your continued leadership and service. Kenneth Weaver, Jr., Commander, United States Navy from Mount Morris. He was nominated by his wife, Glenda. Ken enlisted in the United States Navy through the delayed entry program while still in high school. He was following in the footsteps of his grandfathers, Wallace Weaver and Frank Hoffman. Ken describes visiting the local Legion post as a young boy with his grandfather Wallace. They would look at the pictures of our local veterans that had served in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam and talk about service. And at home, Ken would listen to the family stories about his grandfather Hoffman, who lost his life while serving in the Korean War. These interactions led to Ken's distinguished Navy career of 34 years. Including 21 years of active duty service and 13 years in the Navy Reserves. Ken enlisted in the United States Navy in July 1984. After boot camp, he attended electronics technician school where he mastered how to troubleshoot and repair critical electronic systems from communications to weapons. Ken served during the global war on terrorism, including Operation Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom. His expertise was so respected that both the U.S. Army and Marine Corps called on him for specialized operations as a contractor. Ken's final assignment came in 2012 when his engineering skills were instrumental in the United States withdrawal from Afghanistan. For his exceptional service, Ken received 3 Meritorious Service Medals, 3 Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medals, and the Army's Bronze de Fleury Medal for extraordinary contributions in engineering and construction. At home, Ken continues to serve his community as a lifelong member of the American Legion Post and the VFW Post, both in Nunde. Kenneth has made it his mission to preserve the stories of his fellow veterans, creating detailed historical records that bring comfort and pride to the families. On what he loves the most about America, Kenneth shared, "Anyone born in the United States has won the life lottery. America is the best country in the world, a great experiment nearing its 250th birthday, because it provides the freedom and opportunity to be whatever you want to be." Ken's wife and nominator shared that his dedication to his family, community, and fellow veterans is above reproach. She says that with all he's been involved with as a veteran and community leader, he is most concerned about the welfare of people, particularly veterans. Ken, we thank you for an extraordinary career in the military and all that you continue to do for our veterans. Anthony J. Frado, Petty Officer, First Class, United States Navy from Geneva. He was nominated by Counselor James George Petropoulos, Geneva City Councilman. This one opens up a little bit interesting. Anthony J. Frado was inspired as a young boy by a scene from the movie Top Gun. After watching the rescue swimmer leap from a helicopter, AJ knew that one day that was going to be him. He followed that dream to the United States Navy. During his 14 years of service, AJ served as a talent acquisition specialist with a Navy recruiting district in Pittsburgh, where he helped bring in some of the Navy's best and brightest, from intelligence and nuclear power engineers to Navy SEALs. AJ served as Blue Angel crew chief for the commanding officer of the Navy's elite flight demonstration squadron, the Blue Angels. He was also a part of Operation Desert Fox, Desert Thunder, Operation Allied Force, Northern and Southern Watch, NATO Kosovo Air Campaign, and the Global War on Terror. During his years of service, AJ earned numerous honors, including the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, 5 Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medals, and 5 Navy Good Conduct Medals. Today, as the commander of Post 396 in Geneva, AJ's leadership has reinvigorated the post. AJ is the founder of AJ's Brave Hearts, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting animals, children, veterans, and survivors of domestic violence. AJ, I also heard that you are a pretty impressive singer. Yeah. AJ says that what he loves most about America is what he loves most about New York, that it's a cornucopia of the world, a place where anyone from anywhere can belong if they're willing to love, respect, and contribute to it. AJ, thank you for your continued service. Really appreciate it. Our next honoree is Kevin Heald, Specialist, United States Army from Walworth. He was nominated by his niece, Nicole, and I don't believe he was able to make it this afternoon. So how about a round of applause to show our appreciation? Edward Walker, First Sergeant, United States Army from Canandaigua, was nominated by his friend Nicole Kessler. Unfortunately, Edward did let us know he was unable to be here, so another round of applause to show our appreciation. Roy S. Japp, Sergeant, United States Army, was being honored posthumously. He is from Geneva, and it was his wife who nominated him, and she is not able to be here. But how about a round of applause? Todd F. Starilo, Sergeant, First Class, United States Army from Geneva. His nominator is Sim Covington, Jr., Canandaigua City Council member. Because I get to just point out. Yeah. Todd joined the United States Army seeking direction and opportunity. Todd shares one of his most memorable experiences came in 1993 while serving with a multinational force in observer's mission in Egypt. Standing before the ancient pyramids, he was reminded of the incredible history of the world and of the enduring strength and purpose of those who serve to protect it. For his distinguished 21 years of service, Todd received numerous commendations, including the Combat Infantryman's Badge, the Air Assault Badge, the Meritorious Service Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, and the Army Achievement Medal. Today, Todd serves as Supervising Campus Safety Officer with the Finger Lakes Community College Police Department. Todd is a volunteer trapper education instructor for the New York State DEC. Todd has said what he loves most about America is that we live in a constitutional republic, a nation where every individual has a voice and the opportunity to shape their own destiny. His nominator shared that Todd leads by example. His dedication to the safety of the FLCC campus is admirable. Todd, thank you for your service and your lifelong commitment to protecting others. James Joseph Remmel, Specialist, United States Army from Shortsville, nominated by his friend Philip C. Peake. Jim was drafted at the age of 20 and served in Southeast Vietnam from May 1969 to November 1970. Jim said he learned purposeful survival after facing daily gunfire. Jim shares that his most memorable moment in service was being hit in the nose by shrapnel. He recalls the red lights of the helicopter, then waking up in the hospital. Back here at home, Jim has held various positions at the Turner Schrader American Legion Post in Shortsville, including serving 2 years as commander. He is currently the Sergeant at Arms overseeing the Honor Guard and performing ceremonial duties. Additionally, Jim spearheads various fundraising drives to support the Legion's Children and Youth Fund, which helps support Boy Scout Troop 34 and 38, the Red Jacket Shooting Club, and other youth organizations. Jim says what he loves most about America is the freedom that he fought for, which most other countries do not have. Jim, thank you for all that you have done for our nation and that you continue to do for the community. Robert Good, Staff Sergeant, United States Marine Corps from Shortsville, nominated by Philip C. Peake, his friend. Not here. He is unable to be here today, so how about a round of applause? Thank you. Laura Van Buren, Captain, United States Army from Victor, nominated by her friend, Bill Ambrose. Captain Laura Van Buren recalls that after graduating from high school, she was looking for support, education, and purpose. She also knew she wanted to serve her country. At age 18, Laura made the decision to enlist. In the United States Army, she found structure and earned the opportunity to further her education. After 6 years of service in the Army, Laura went on to nursing school, eventually becoming a nurse practitioner. At age 48, Laura made the decision to join the armed services for a second time, this time joining the United States Army Reserves as an officer, where she served an additional 5 years. In 2009, Laura was promoted to the rank of captain and was recognized by the President of the United States for her outstanding qualities of patriotism and valor. The moments Laura remembers the most involve her work overseas. While stationed at a medical clinic in Germany, Laura provided care to active duty military members coming in from all over the world. Laura says what she loves most about America is our freedom. She appreciates that America is a melting pot and a land of opportunity. Laura's nominator praises her commitment to her fellow veterans. She noted Laura has worked in the medical field for 45 years. For the past 24 years, Laura has served veterans at the Canandaigua VA as a nurse practitioner. Laura, thank you for your incredible dedication to your fellow veterans and for your military service. Richard Webb, Master Sergeant, United States Air Force, being honored posthumously. He was from Geneva, and here with us this afternoon is his son, Stephen. Thank you, Stephen. Richard Webb is remembered by his son, Stephen, as a gifted communicator, someone who understood people and lived by the values he instilled in others. Richard served 26 years in the Air Force and was featured in the regular Baptist press for his Korean War service. As his nominator recalls, Richard survived a brutal attack by North Korean soldiers. During the attack, he was shot in the head and was bayoneted in the shoulder. Somehow, he found the strength to drive himself to safety, where South Korean troops cared for him. For his extraordinary bravery, he was awarded the Purple Heart and the Silver Star. Richard was assigned to personal affairs and spent the remainder of his military career working with the families of deceased veterans to make sure they received all the benefits that they were entitled to. Stephen says that Richard's compassion and sense of duty made a lasting difference in the lives of countless military families. What his father loved the most about America was the United States Constitution and the principles it stands for. Stephen, we are eternally grateful for your father's service and sacrifice. Our next honoree is William J. Ambrose, Staff Sergeant, Air Force from Clifton Springs, who is nominated by his friend John H. Ambrose. Staff Sergeant William Ambrose was motivated to join the Air Force by his older brother Jay, who served in the Navy and participated in the Cuban Missile Blockade. Will shared with me that Jay set the example that he wanted to follow. Will enlisted at age 18 after graduating from high school. He served for 4 years. During his time in the service, Will learned that through dedication and hard work, he could achieve his goals. Will earned top scores in basic medical training, qualifying for preventive medical training at Brooks School of Aerospace Medicine. In 1970, Will was assigned to a small Air Force base along South Vietnam's coast, where he worked as a medic. He described saying goodbye to his family and leaving for Vietnam as extremely difficult. Will says what he loves most about America is best captured by the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired. Will's nominator mentioned finally meeting the other Ambrose at a county Vets with Our Pets program. John Ambrose asked Will Ambrose, I understand, to join the VFW. And today, Will serves as the second vice commander for the Canandaigua VFW post. Will, thank you for your incredible service and dedication. Ben Rawlinson, Jr., Corporal, United States Marine Corps, is being honored posthumously. He was from Honeoye Falls. Here with us today is his wife, Mary Louise Muffy Meisenzahl. After losing his mother at 11 years old and with few resources to pursue college, Corporal Ben Rawlinson Jr. needed a job. After hearing stories of military life from family and seeing an attractive recruiting poster of Marines in dress uniform and with the words, "The few, the proud," Ben joined the United States Marines. It was 1959. He said the moment he joined settled his life and set the course for his future. When asked about Ben's most memorable moment in service, his wife recalled several memories, including that in 1959 at Parris Island, Ben was assigned to assist another recruit with passing his fitness standards. Later, Ben realized that the Marine he helped was future actor Brian Dennehy. And he had many experiences like that. It's pretty incredible, including meeting up with the Beach Boys. Right, yeah. For his service, Ben earned the Good Conduct Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, and the Rifle Sharpshooter Badge. After serving for 4 years, Ben returned home to continue serving others. He began his civilian career with the village of Honeoye Falls, becoming the superintendent of sewers. He gave generously of his time in so many ways, including as a Little League coach, a volunteer firefighter, and a leader of several local, state, and national veterans organizations. His influence on the lives of many others is profound and enduring. He has been described as a mentor, a colleague, and a friend who shared his insight with encouragement and clarity, always reminding us to keep it simple and be adaptable, for change is inevitable. Ben's legacy of service continues today through a scholarship named after him. Ben believed that citizenship is a gift that requires active participation, and one of the things he loved most about America is the promise of endless possibility for everyone. Muffy, this evening we are so proud to recognize your husband, a distinguished Marine who just led an incredible life of service to others. Our next nominee this evening is Kenneth Jensen, Sr., Petty Officer, 3rd Class, from the United States Navy, Canandaigua. He was nominated by his daughter, Tammy L. McGarvey. Petty Officer, 3rd Class, Kenneth Jensen, Sr. of the United States Navy was inspired to join the Navy by his cousin Richard, who also served. Kenneth served on the USS Ranger as an electrician. Standout moments from his service include watching the planes launch off the deck of the ship, and of a time when he was responsible for delivering a very time-sensitive message from the admiral on the bridge to the flight deck. Kenneth served for 4 years. For his service, he received the National Defense Service Medal, the Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, the Navy Unit Commendation, and the Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal. Kenneth's expertise in electronics launched his career, including roles at Penyan Express and the ARC Ontario's Abbey Industries. When asked what he loves the most about America, Kenneth said, "I love the attempts to make things better for everybody else." His daughter and nominator shared that throughout Ken's life, he has been the kind of neighbor that makes his community a better place. She notes his kind words of encouragement, passion for his nation, and unwavering desire for all that is good and right to be done for everyone, makes him a person of integrity and excellence. And Tammy mentioned Ken was the most enthusiastic of anyone in the family when he learned of an international adoption which would bring home his grandchild. So Ken, we thank you for your service to the nation and all you continue to do for our communities. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Can you step over a little bit? Yes, and we'll grab a photo. Robert Wallace Sargent, United States Army, Bloomfield. Nominated by Joseph Gallipo from the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 294. Service runs deep in Sergeant Robert Wallace's family. His father, brother, and uncle all proudly served our country. Continuing the family tradition, Bob joined the United States Army. Bob served for 12 years in Operation Desert Shield, Operation Desert Storm, and the liberation of Kuwait. Bob's most memorable moment of service came when he flew from Germany to pick up equipment in Saudi Arabia, and he waited in the desert to cross the border into Iraq for the liberation of the Kuwaiti people. Bob remembers the heavy smoke and the smell of the burning oil fields. Bob shared with us what he loves about America is everything. He loves America. He loves our freedoms, our diversity, religious freedom, and the ability to speak freely and openly. Bob's service did not end when he came home. For more than 3 decades, he has been a member of the Avon American Legion. Whether it's organizing fundraisers, repairing homes, or ensuring a veteran has heat in the winter, Bob is there quietly leading, helping, and giving back. Bob has also been instrumental in strengthening the American Legion community, founding the Sons of the American Legion Squadron 294 in 2024. For his military service, Bob received the Army Commendation Medal, the Army Achievement Medal, the Good Conduct Medal, the Southwest Asia Medal with 3 bronze stars. Stephanie Gleason, is Stephanie here? Stephanie, do you mind standing up for a moment? So, Stephanie is Bob's nominator, but Stephanie is also a Gold Star mother. And I think Stephanie, I want to thank you for your daughter's service and for your family's sacrifice. What was your daughter's name? We will never forget her. We thank you for your incredible service. Thank you. So Stephanie supported Robert's nomination, and she shared that he personified the most genuine form of heroism while standing by her family after the tragic loss of her daughter in service. Robert, on behalf of the grateful state and nation, we thank you for your service. And Stephanie, again, we thank you for your daughter's service and your family's sacrifice. Thank you. Reverend Edward Bortle, Sergeant, United States Army, who is being honored posthumously. He was from Walworth. Here with us this afternoon is his wife, Rosemarie. Tonight we honor the legacy of Sergeant Edward Earl Bortle posthumously. Edward answered the call to serve during the Vietnam War. He served his country with distinction for 3 years, earning the Army Commendation Medal, the Vietnam Cross of Gallantry with Palm, and other honors that reflect his dedication and bravery. His wife, Rosemarie, reflects that what defined Edward was not only how he served in uniform, but it was also how he continued to serve long after. For 40 years, he worked at Wegmans. Edward was also a skilled cabinet maker known for his craftsmanship. He devoted his life to his faith, being ordained in 2022, and together with Rosemarie, he conducted mission trips that helped others across the world. Rosemarie describes her husband as faithful, caring, and humble, a man who went the extra mile for everyone he met. Rosemarie, on behalf of the grateful state and community, we proudly honor Reverend Edward Bortle as an example of courage and devotion, and we thank you for his service. Thank you. Thank you. Jerome Butterbrot, Master Sergeant, United States Air Force from Canisius. He was nominated by Don Wester, Town of Canisius Supervisor. Jerome's journey to service began from a place of family hardship. He joined the Air Force for a fresh start, serving 20 years with commitment and discipline, including deployments in the Gulf and Desert Storm. Jerome recalls his most memorable moment of service taking place during Operation El Dorado Canyon, the 1986 U.S. airstrikes on Libya. Jerome played a crucial behind-the-scenes role. As one of only 2 people cleared to process the SR-71 reconnaissance imagery, he was read in on a highly classified mission. The night before the operation, France denied overflight permission, forcing the entire flight path to be recalculated. With his wife, Julie, 8.5 months pregnant, he stayed behind to redo the mission tract. The next day, while driving to dinner at his in-laws' house, he noticed the base ramp crowded with KC-10 refueling aircraft. On the drive home, they were gone. He turned to Julie and quietly said he had to return to work, promising he'd see her in a day or two. Jerome says what he loves most about America is the opportunity to be who or whatever you want to be, as long as you are willing to work hard. After 22 years of military service, Jerome worked in image science at Kodak. He serves as a volunteer firefighter, fire commissioner, and town councilman in Canisius, consistently dedicating himself to the community. He remains involved with local veterans and the volunteers for the Honor Flight program. For his service, Jerome received the Meritorious Service Medal, the Commendation Medal, the Air Force Achievement Medal, and the Outstanding Unit Award, among others. Jerome, thank you for your leadership and your lifelong service to both our nation and our community. Thank you, sir. Daniel Walkley, Specialist, United States Army from Canisius, also nominated by Don Wester, Town of Canisius Supervisor. Daniel is a proud veteran of the United States Army and a man whose life has been defined by service to others. Daniel was based in Thailand, where he developed valuable construction and heavy equipment skills while stationed in Cambodia. He built a road system. That experience would shape his career and his lifelong contributions to his hometown. Daniel has a deep appreciation for the freedoms we all share as Americans. He served our nation for 3 years, but he says some of his most memorable moments of service came after returning home. In 1967, Daniel was assigned to protect the Pentagon during one of the first large-scale demonstrations against the Vietnam War, a pivotal moment that marked a turning point in the nation's anti-war movement. Daniel recalls standing guard through that tense October weekend, getting only about 3 hours of sleep from Friday to Sunday. After his military service, Daniel continued that same dedication to his Livingston County community. He is a 2-term commander of American Legion Post 1779, a past assistant chief of the Canisius Fire Department, and a trusted supervisor of the Community Recycling Center. Daniel and his wife, Kay, have been recognized together as Livingston County Seniorama honorees for their lasting impact on those around them. Daniel, thank you for your military service and all that you do in our community. Ladies and gentlemen, those are our nominees for 2025. Aren't they absolutely incredible? Yeah. Again, I want to thank all of our honorees for your incredible military service and everything that you have done since completing your military careers. You continue to give back to your communities. You continue to take care of your fellow veterans, and for that, we are eternally grateful.